Hello,
My name's Mark, and your name is?
my name is Anjana. My first question is what should, the non native speakers do in order to learn English?
Obviously, reading and writing you do in a normal classroom, but the only way to get good at speaking English is to speak English. So conversations, as much as you possibly can, is the way to help you. And while you're having conversations, because most people are nervous speaking another language, the more you speak that language, the more confident you get. Well, and that's part of it. So when you're confident, you tend to not be nervous, and if you're not nervous, you're speaking a lot better than when you are nervous. Just like in if you go for a interview, you're nervous. Same with speaking a foreign language. Most people are nervous until they do it on a regular basis. So speaking uh, about different things as well, not just going, hello, how are you? I am fine, thank you. You need to have conversations about different subjects. And then by that, you're going to learn new vocabulary as well, which is important. So, learning new vocabulary and having plenty of conversations is the way to become more fluent in not just English, but any language.
Very true, very true. But what if you don't have anyone to speak? Then what one should do? Because a lot of
Go
people they
on.
have this problem that they don't have a speaking partner.
That's when you need to use what is online, which
Okay.
20 years ago we didn't have that, but now we can. So also, as you just said, listening to YouTube, there is many YouTube channels and teachers who just make videos to help people learn English and to become more fluent in conversation. So using those as well. But the main thing is, even if it's online, is to try and to have as many conversations as possible, so you'll become more confident and more fluent.
Right, right. But suppose somebody wants to practice it on its own, so then how is he going to practice? Like suppose I have no one and I want to practice. Sometimes people say you should practice on your own in your mind.
Yeah. So you can practice on your own in your mind, but a better way is to put yourself in front of a mirror and also record when you're talking, because sometimes we think we've done well when we talk. But if you
Yeah.
listen back to it, you'll find there's things that you haven't done well, and then you can change those and try again. So I would plonk yourself in front of a mirror, a conversation, and listen back to it. And if you're not happy with it, you'll find what the problem was, and you can do it again. So that's the way I would do it. If you've got no way you can use internet and you've got no one to talk to, is use a mirror and use a recorder, tape what you're saying, and also sometimes it's also good to read. Um, read, and there's a very good thing you can use called Angu online. If you go to Angu, you'll find there's different things in the news that they bring up. Look at it. It gives you new vocabulary. Then it gives you part two is to read, some reading. And then part three, it gives you questions on what you just read. And then you can also, it says, what do you think about what you've just read? So it's a very good platform that I use on Cambly with students, but you can also use it on your own. And it's called Engu. So you can go to Engu, bring up any of the news things. It gives you new vocabulary, a comprehension reading section, and then questions on what you've just read. So that's another good way you can do it if you're on your own.
Okay, okay. Which app you said? Engu.
Yeah, I
Can
put
you
it
can
up
you spell
I
it?
put yes, it's in the chat. I put it in the chat. Can you see it in the chat?
Okay, I
E
can't.
N ENGOO.
Okay, I have heard about it. Engu.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Uh,
It's very good. It's good on your own, and it's good when I'm with a student and we can do it together. And then I can raise any issues they've had when they're talking, and I can basically fix the problem, hopefully.
okay. Okay, right. Okay. So
Next
I'll
question.
and how to improve the pronunciation and all.
again, pronunciation is, you can, if you're doing it with a teacher, that's quite easy because the teacher can tell you. If you're like, a lot of people say 15 instead of 15. So
Yeah.
doing it with a teacher helps because you might actually think you're saying it correctly, but you might not be saying it correctly.
Think
And
correct.
the sooner you fix that, the better. Because like everything else, when we're learning something, the more we do it, the more we do that. So you want to fix problems as soon as possible with people saying something wrongly, as in 15 and 15. It's not 15, it's 15. So, but there's many things like that. So they can only really be fixed when you're actually with a teacher who can correct you.
Okay. Right. 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 Okay. So these were a few questions I wanted to know, and okay, uh, like you know, do native speakers also make mistake while speaking English?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, definitely. It's not
Okay.
only that we make mistakes in
Mhm.
native speakers, probably the same in your country. We've got people with like who are Welsh speaking, Scottish speaking, Irish speaking. They're from London, Birmingham, the north of England, where they've got a very strong accent and unique words that are
Yes.
just to their area.
Yes.
So that they're not speaking English wrongly, they're just speaking it in their local dialect.
Yeah. 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 So yeah. Yeah. Every place has a different dialect. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got some words that are only unique to that area.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be talking to someone from that area and think, what are they talking about? But it's not, it's just that they're speaking in their dialect, like
Yeah.
Scottish or Welsh English, or they're from the north, or Birmingham's got a strong accent with a few words that are from Brum, as they call it, only. So, yeah, so you've got to be aware. But English is probably what you'll find most of the people on Cambly, because most of the people on Cambly speak English in what they call correct English.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. It's a good platform to learn English.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
obviously, the thing I find is that I'm learning at the same time because I learn about people's cultures, customs, and where they live and what they do and what it's like where they live. So I like history as well. So I'm learning at the same time.
Oh, history.
Yeah. So I'm learning when people are from Japan, maybe they tell me the island they live on, what they do on that island, what their island's like. Because people just think of like Japan, Tokyo, but Japan is a vast country with many islands and many cities and villages. So that's the same for the whole world. So I get to learn about things around the world at the same time as teaching, which I find interesting.
Okay.
You said you got some
Yeah.
any more questions before we finish? Because we only got a minute, so I want you to get your questions in.
No, I just wanted to know this only because non-native speakers, they find little bit, when they speak, they are more hesitant and all. There's a fear inside that they will commit mistake. I think that's something that holds them back. They cannot speak because of that hesitation only.
Yeah, you've
Basically,
got to learn. You've got
they
to learn
feel,
a
yes,
language is a journey. It's something that doesn't happen very quickly, and you've got to be thinking it's going to be a long time and not give up. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks. It takes time.
yes, yes, yes.
You've got to head for that.
Mm-hmm. But some people, they say you can learn it in 30 days, 60 days.
Well, maybe a few words, but not learn a language.
Yeah, yeah, very true,
Nice
very
to
true.
see you.
Yeah.
Sorry